Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel Books Natasa. So today I'm gonna film my mid-year book freakout tag. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the video. First, as you have probably guessed, this is a new angle just because I'm currently at my desk. So if you can see my bed behind, it's just my room is pretty small, so I don't have a lot of ways to film, so I'm really sorry, but I really needed my laptop in hand so I could read the questions and everything. So let's get started. First question is best book you've read so far in 2023, and for this I have two choices just because both I love so much, just for different reasons. First, as you have probably guessed, is Fourth Queen by Rebecca Yarros. As many people in this year have already read and loved this book. It was incredible. The characters, the stories, everything was so unique, and it had such an incredible story, and you don't see it often, dragons and everything, and the world building was just so similar to how Sarah Maas makes it, and that just made me so happy to be reading it. Also, the romance was an incredible enemies to lovers slow burn, which I didn't really know I was gonna love, but I ended up loving. And of course, the cliffhanger at the end, I was like screaming. So yeah, and I can't wait to read the second book in November. It's gonna be amazing. And yes, the second book on this answer basically is Sweet Distraction by Heather Ashley. This is book number 2 in her newest series. I'm sorry I can't remember her name correctly. Savage Element Hill, something like that. But yeah, this is a new favorite series of mine. I picked it up completely on whim, the first book being Beautiful Carnage, which again also 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved, but the second book just had something that I didn't know I needed and loved, and that is Beckett. I mean, seriously, this guy is just amazing. He's basically a serial killer, and these books are super dark, so keep in mind that. But he's a serial killer, and he starts working as a teacher so he can find someone that kidnaps students there and kills them because he does on his territory, so he doesn't really like that. So that's why he meets Ellery, and he becomes completely obsessed with her. He wants her and everything, and it turns out she's everything he wanted her to be, and it's amazing, this romance. They are perfect together, and it's also slightly a stalker romance, which I loved. Student tutors, soulmates. It's just amazing. Highly recommend you guys pick up the series. I know I have been ranting about it for a few weeks now on my stories, but I really think you guys should read it. It's amazing. This question is best sequel you read in 2023, and for this I am gonna go with Reckless by Elsa Silver. This is book number 4 in the Chestnut Springs series by her, and many of you know that this series has quickly become one of my favorites. And Elsa Silver has become one of my favorite authors. She's just incredible. I love how spicy her romances and how incredible her stories are, and the characters and everything. So this book follows Theo and Summer's sister Winter, which I didn't think this book was for me, because we have a surprise pregnancy, we have an age gap, we have sort of a single parent thing going on. But yeah, so we see first Winter and Theo completely hate each other, then something happens and they end up having a one-night stand together, even though they really want to see each other again. Theo just is really busy with work, and then something happens, and when Winter gets pregnant, she basically is left alone. But there's an explanation for that. I'm just trying not to spoil it. And after a while, Theo comes back and he's like devastated that he has a daughter that he had no idea about. So, and he actually had deep feelings for Winter. He knew that she was the girl that he was going to marry for the first time he saw her. So now he's trying to win them both over, and it's just amazing to watch him. He's like the best book boyfriend. He's incredible, and I love his relationship with Winter. They are perfect together. Next we have new release you haven't yet read but want to. And for this one I'm gonna go with The Serpent and the Wings by Night by Carissa Broadbent. I'm sorry I keep looking at that, it's just I have my nose there. But yeah, this is a vampire fantasy romance book that has been highly recommended for those who have finished Fourth Wind and want something similar in the sentiment and everything about it. So I have put it on my TBR a while back, but I haven't really picked it up yet just because my reading mood has been all over the place. Lately I had a reading slump, then I was reading only manga, now I'm only reading dark romance. I don't really know what's going on with me, but I'm liking it. It's nice to change genres and formats and everything. It's just really fun. And I have read the first chapter for this book for a challenge that I did, basically read the chapter to decide my next read, and I had read the first book in the Veronica Speedwell series, this one, and one more that I can't really remember, and I picked up Veronica Speedwell series, so that was way back in this year. But yeah, I'm really hoping to read this one before the end of the year, but I'm not gonna put pressure on myself just because there are so many series that I'm really going to read at the moment, so I guess we'll see. The next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and for this one many of you aren't surprised, and that is A Curse of True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the third and final book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, set in the Caraval universe, and one of my favorite series out there. I mean, the ballad completely wrecked me. I fell in love with Jax, and they just took him away from me, and I just hate it. And I really am planning on doing a reread of this series just prior to the third book's release, just because I like pain, and that I'm really going to be completely ready and have all the information on hand on my brain when the third book comes. I am really anxious because Stephanie Garber isn't known to give like fully happy endings, if that makes sense. I mean, in Caraval there was a happy ending, but there was also Jax's ending. So I'm really hoping for them to have a happy ending because they truly deserve it. But yeah, Evangeline is one of my favorite characters. Jax is just amazing. I love how he tries to protect Evangeline, even and he really doesn't believe that, even though he feels what he feels for her, that she's the one that can break his curse. He doesn't want to risk it just because he doesn't want her to die by his hand. So he pushes her away, which is like, also I loved the scenes between them, especially when Evangeline got hurt in Ballad and Jax was just losing his mind, and that was incredible. Also, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but I totally called for Apollo. I hated him for the first time that he was introduced. Maybe he's just a villain, or maybe he is under a spell or curse or whatever. I don't care, but I don't really like him. So there's that. Biggest disappointment, and that is Underlocked by Mariana Zapata. This is the only Mariana Zapata book that I have given 3 stars so far. And again, it wasn't the worst book, but I think it's because it was one of her first ones. The writing isn't the best. The story could have been better, and I didn't really feel connected to the couple. I felt like Jax was just the worst, and our girl protagonist was just so slow and in everything, and it was kind of a little bit annoying. But I think if Mariana Zapata sit down and rewrote the story right now, she was going to do an amazing job with it. But I understand this was one of her first series, so I didn't have super high expectations, but I really did enjoy my time reading it. I only have two books that by her that I plan to read someday. I have no idea when, and that is Look Up, and then we have Dear Aaron. Those two are the ones that I want to read, but I'm really hoping she will publish something soon because I can't stop reading On the Road Really Hears, and she's my favorite, and I'm hoping she will write another one as well. Biggest surprise for me, that is More Than I Could by Adriana Locke. This is a small town romance that I picked up completely on a whim, and it's a single dad and nanny trope, and it was just incredible. I don't know how many times I've spoken about this book, but I don't think it's enough because it's just incredible. So basically we have Chase, and I don't remember the girl's name, but basically she is a friend of the family, and he just lost a job due to some cutbacks, so she's basically free for the summer, and it's the first time in her life that she has stopped working. So now she took up this place to nanny Chase's son because she really wanted to help her mother, because Chase's mother is, their mother's basically her best friend, so she goes there in this small town for the summer and basically starts to babysit Chase's son. And I love how in the beginning we see them having an attraction with each other and they don't really deny it like most books. They are open with it and they're like, I know there's this something between us, but it can't happen because of the boy, and he's afraid of getting his son hurt again because his mother, I think, is dead. I don't remember. I read so many small town romances that some details are a little bit jumbled up. But for this one, yes, they have a few moments here and there that their feelings like drive them, but they still decide it's not good for them to pursue this. But after a while, they can't deny it, so they decide to have a relationship and everything. So yeah, but there is this thing between them, and basically Chase gets scared and pushes her away, and but then he does the most incredible thing to make up for it, and I just loved it. And I love how the girl, he so called him out on his shit and everything, and isn't afraid to back down from what she wants and everything. So it was just an incredible story, and I hope everyone reads it. Favorite new author or debut or new to me. So for this one, again, I have two authors, and that is Rebecca Yarros and Heather Ashley. Rebecca Yarros is the author of Forthwith, and Heather Ashley is the author of Sweet Distraction and Beautiful Carnage, which is my new favorite series. So I'm not gonna talk about a lot here because it was part of the first question, but Rebecca Yarros, I think, is not a new debut author. So yeah, this book was incredible by her, and I can't wait to read Iron Flame. Next, we have Heather Ashley, that with this series completely outdid herself. I hope to read more by her, but I just really am obsessed with the series. I have read each book like 3 or 4 times already. I can't stop rereading them just because I love them so much. And she just writes incredible dark romance, and I'm really super excited for the next book in the series, following Tristan and Fallon's best friend, which we meet in the first book, and I think it's gonna be incredible. It's fictional crush, and that is Zanden Yorson. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but yeah, he's like a dark Aaron Warner, which I completely love. Many people said that this book was so similar to A Court of the Roses series, but for me, it was crazy similar to the Shadowman series by the Hara Mafia. We have Xander, which completely has Warner's personality, but isn't just a cinnamon roll as much as Aaron is. Then we have Violet, who is completely like Juliet, but more confident and more herself than Juliet. And then we have Dane, who is totally an Adam, we see her doing the exact same things Adam did to Juliet, and basically I love how Xander put him in his place and everything. So that is my comparison. So, and yes, so Xander has these shadow powers, and he's like this total badass, and I just love it. Also, I love that Violet and Xander's are in a relationship, and also the dragons are in a relationship, just adorable and the cutest thing ever. Next we have newest favorite character, and that is Violet Sorrengail, because I love how strong she was and was able to push past her fear and everything, and was so prepared not to die and just live and make the best of this of her situation, even though if death was so usual for the path that she was forced to take. So yeah, and then we have Morana from the Dark Forest series by Renix. I recently read it. I just finished reading Reaper a few days ago, and I absolutely loved Morana and Tristan's story. Morana is such a badass, and I love how she is with computer science and everything, and how smart and intelligent she is. I just love her so much. She's a complete badass, and she's just amazing. And I can't wait to read the next book in the series, which is The Emperor following Dante. That made you cry, and that is Echoes of You by Catherine Cowles. This is her newest book. It's book number 3 in the Lost and Found series, following Nas and Maddie. In this book we have domestic violence, that we have heroin in hiding, we have childhood friends to lovers and everything. So we have now Maddie running from her ex-fiance after basically almost beating her to death. So she goes to the only familiar place, home, which is with Nas. So they used to be best friends for as long as they can remember, but they lost touch. That's because Maddie was in a difficult place and everything. But Nas was always there for her, just like she was for him. So now that she's home, they start to reconnect and everything, and the truth comes out about what has happened to Maddie and everything, and Nas is always there to help her recover, like always. And I love how they draw strength from one another, but just Maddie's journey and everything that she's gone through in this book was so heartbreaking, and I love watching her become more sure of herself and everything, and become a total badass and so confident. And it was just the best reward I could get for this book, except for the incredible romance, of course. And it was just amazing. I made you happy, and for this one I'm gonna choose Things We Hide from a Light, which is book number 2 in the Nakaman series by Lucy Scott. This book made me laugh out loud so many times. I was reading it on my Kindle at night, and I couldn't stop laughing, especially in the scene with the gym where the girl and the gay best friend go, and they're like hilarious, and then the crashes come and they're like, oh my god, how did I look, and everything was just hilarious. This book was just such a joy, and even though it dealt with some heavy things because of Nas, and but also the girl, it was just such a light book, even though they had such a hard time and everything. And I'm really excited to read Sloane's book, and I can't remember the guy's name, so I'm blanking, I'm so sorry. But yeah, this book was just such a light. I loved it so much more than the second book, than the first book in the series. This one is just amazing. Next we have most beautiful book you've bought or received so far this year. And for this one, I'm gonna choose Catcher by Cassandra Clare. I was ecstatic when this showed up on my mail. I'm forever grateful to Penguin for sending this hard copy of this book. I still haven't been able to read it, and it's killing me just because just look at how gorgeous it is. Also, Cassandra Clare is one of my favorite authors, so it hurts so much not to be able to read her newest series, but usually Cassandra puts me on a slump, and this book is quite big, so I have my reservations. But I am planning, hopefully, to read this year. Otherwise, this could be my first book of next year. But just look at this cover. I love this UK edition, and it's just gorgeous. A question on this list is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? For this one, I have three choices. First, we have the Prison Healer series. I recently read the first book in the series and really loved it. 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was a really fun story, and I'm really going to read the other two books in the series and see how it goes. But I'm pretty sure the second book is gonna catch me and everything. But I really am excited to read it because it's been a while since I've read any fantasy YA that gripped my attention. Next, we have the rest of the Veronica Speedwell series. I need to read books 6, 7, 8, and 9, I believe, but my problem is just getting past book 6 just because it is said to be the most boring one, just because of the mystery and everything, so yeah. The Veronica Speedwell series I read earlier this year and has become one of my favorite series. I just love the relationship between Veronica and Stoker and how far they've come over these past few books. So far, my favorite has been Murderous Revelation, I believe it's called, and Dangerous Collaboration. Those two were the best ones in my opinion. But I really also love the mysteries there. But yeah, and of course, last but not least, we have One Piece. I decided, even though we are talking about books, I really wanted to mention One Piece here. I have started reading the manga and I'm currently in the Arabasta arc. Currently I think I am chapter 155, something around there. I'm really excited to hopefully catch up until the end of the year, just because I really want to reach Wano, and then I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue by manga or wait until the anime comes out. I have no idea yet, but I'm really having so much fun being back into every time skip world, and our characters, they were so innocent and cute and adorable, and I love how Zoro used to smile so much but not as much now, and I just love them. I'm really excited to see the Arabasta arc again because we get to see Ace again. I'm not sure how I'm gonna survive the Marineford arc again. It is my favorite arc, but it's also the most heartbreaking one ever. But I'm really excited to continue with my journey reading the manga, and hopefully I will catch up at the end of the year. Wow, I've been talking for a while, but this video has been a while in the making, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, stick around. I would really appreciate you check out my Instagram. I'll put the thing here. Also, I would really appreciate if you guys give a like. It really helps out my account, channel, and everything. So I will see you for my next video very soon. Bye.